Hello and welcome to the Residents Forum. I'm Natalie, I'm Community Development at Alconbury Weald. This was recorded on Tuesday the 9th of February. It is a pre-record because we're still in lockdown. Today we have got an update from Rebecca Britton on things coming forward within Alconbury Weald. We have Haresh, who is taken on the role as coordinator for the Neighbourhood Watch. He is a resident of Bailey Road. He'll be giving us a bit of an update. We've got Polly, who organises our travel from the County Council. She'll be coming in to explain what she does and what's happening going forward. And then I've had some questions, so they will happen at the end. As this is a pre-recorded session, we can't take questions live. However, as ever, please just email me and I will get back to you with any questions that you have.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Urban and Civic, and I'm just going to give you an update now on where we are with aspects of Phase 1 delivery, and then we're also going to have a bit of an update on Phase 2 and even a little bit of a sneak preview of the next steps around the delivery of the third phase of Alconbury Weald. So we'll start off by looking at the first phase of delivery, and hopefully you'll be familiar with this map of our key Phase 1, where G is the Ermine Street Primary School, J is the community park, and Hopkins are 1, Morris 2 and Medrow 3. Clearly beyond that, Hopkins and Crest Nicholson are working hard in parcels 5 and 6, and most of the team's focus has been progressing agreements with the house builders for parcels 4A, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And I'm pleased to say that there'll be some applications imminent on these parcels, with good progress being made with Campbell Buchanan George on 4A, some familiar names coming into 8, 9 and 10, house builders who are already on site, and potentially a new name coming to Alconbury in parcel 7, but a very familiar one to us. So Carla Holmes, who we are working with at our development at Wintringham St Neots, are taking forward parcel 7, and theirs will be the first planning application, which should go in the next couple of weeks. We'll now just move over quickly to the mixed use area. So we're going to be looking at the little cluster around the cricket pitch now. Firstly, to give a bit of an update on the commercial area and the County Council headquarters building, which was O in that diagram. Work is progressing well on the building despite some of the delays and supply chain issues that COVID restrictions have caused, but they are still on schedule to complete probably the middle of the year, with staff moving in sometime over the summer and certainly by September. We've been looking at the area to the north of the County Council building, where we have been talking to you previously about developing a neighbourhood centre. This would essentially be quite a key hub within the first phase of development, and would include the co-op convenience store that we've mentioned, nursery and some other future buildings that we've been looking at. So now we're looking in a little bit more detail at how this area will look. We've been working closely with co-op for their store to come forward, which will work alongside the existing Swinford stores, and also with the nursery provider, where obviously the design is a little bit more complicated, so that might come forward a little bit later, but we'll put everything in for planning with the nursery and the cycle hub. And we're also likely to put in an area for a pub, even though at the moment discussions on the potential provider for the pub has been delayed. But don't worry, we do have a backup plan that hopefully you'll be pleased to hear. We are going to be doing a consultation online around this area. We know we've spoken about it before, but we're keen to share some of the detailed design and also get your views about activating that area. So if you watch this space, keep an eye out on the Facebook page and also on our website. There'll be some opportunities to have your say, so that you can influence the final plans, which will then go forward for approval by the District Council in March. Now, I mentioned not necessarily being able to progress a pub at the moment. It's not the best time in the state of the economy to be talking to pub owners. But what we have been doing is working very hard to bring a cafe back to Alconbury Weald. and we have had a really good discussion with a local provider, very experienced operator who works elsewhere in Huntingdonshire. They are very keen to really take forward a plan for a very lovely community-based cafe, and we would very much like them to be based in the Watch office, which unfortunately since it was launched has not really had a chance to get going. And so what we're looking to do as part of the neighbourhood centre move is to move the library into the club building and have some information displays in the ground floor of the club, and move the cafe into the Watch office. We think that's going to create an incredible atmosphere, and we also think that the guys coming forward with it are going to be a tremendous addition to the community. They're going to be out and about in the next few weeks with the aim of finalising a planning application in March, and the works required to convert the building are not too onerous. It's a listed building, so we've had to work very closely with the conservation officer to make sure the changes are low impact and ensure that the building still sings and brings forward its historic uses. So we hope that will be able to move forward in the summer, and whilst we don't have an opening date yet, we would hope that late summer, early autumn, we'll have a really impressive new cafe there, which will be run by Bohemia. So for those who know Bohemia, for those who don't, then it is definitely worth, as soon as we can, lockdown restrictions are eased, going and sampling the delights that they offer to St Neots. Hopefully you'll have had a chance to see the progress on the pavilion. This is a really important building for all of us because it is the first bespoke community centre. So this is really your building, and we're really excited about nearly being at the finish line with it. Obviously this will have facilities to provide for the sports matches going forward, particularly focus on cricket, but it will also have function and events rooms and the potential for some health activity going on there, as well as a community office for Natalie. Now, clearly during lockdown is possibly the worst time in the world to finish a community building, but we will be soft launching it over the next few months just to get some interest in classes, events and activities and the sorts of things that you want to see coming forward. So please do get involved in any of those conversations, and clearly the Community Association are going to have a really important role working with all of you to make sure that this building delivers what you need it to. We've also been working closely with Cricket East to ensure that we've got some teams up and running, and they're looking forward to getting some good cricketing events and training sessions up and running over the summer. So one thing we know is also very close to everyone's hearts is progress on the secondary school and the special school. I think it's fair to say that the design process is well underway now. There's some very good, positive, exciting meetings going forward with the project team, trying to get the designs right, trying to get all the technical requirements of the space finalised, and they are still hoping to be coming out to talk to the community, or at least be doing it online depending on lockdown restrictions, so that they can submit an application later on in the spring. So it's very exciting. The visuals were really nice. You can see the CGIs here that show a really dynamic square, and we know that DMAT and Pressley Wood Academy teams are incredibly keen to move forward and come to the site as soon as possible. I just also wanted to give you an update on phase 2 and the country park, because it's a good couple of years really since we held the consultation events around the second phase of Alconbury Weald, and for those of you who were with us then, plans were submitted, but they've been rather delayed by the fact that there's lots of changes going on to some of the existing transport infrastructure. So just as a quick reminder of the broad concepts for the second phase, this was around making the connections with the southern end of the site that will be enabled by a link coming forward to the A141. That would enable us to get the route that will eventually lead up to the railway station and part of our transport hub with the Cambridge Autonomous Metro. Being able to do that means we can get going early with the country park, and you can see on this diagram some of the rights of way and some of the activities that we're really keen to bring forward within the country park. So we've been making some progress on this over the last couple of months, partly due to some details which I'll show you now. This is a really horrible diagram, but the southern access T-junction. So in the original plan submitted, we had quite an ambitious roundabout coming forward on the A141 that would have enabled a priority system for buses and cycles. That did get slightly bogged down in the technical conversations with the Highways Authority. So we've now agreed a different format for that entrance, which is just now going through the technical approval stage of planning, but we are hopeful that we'll be able to start bringing this forward over the next couple of months. So apologies that it's very technical drawing, but this is effectively where the south of the site will connect with the A141, just between the railway bridge and the Audi garage, for those who do that journey, and that will enable us to connect directly to Huntingdon. So that bit has moved forward. There is another aspect that has not moved forward quite in the way we had hoped. So there is also work underway at the moment with a feasibility study for an outer A141. So this would be a big infrastructure investment north of Huntingdon that would increase the capacity of that road, and this links into some work falling off the back of the A14 being upgraded. One of the things being considered for this is that it might change the route of the A141, and so there is currently a study going on that looks at a wider corridor for the A141 to move out to from its current location. And this does impact on the south of Grange Farm and our land ownership. And so this is one of the reasons that the progress on phase 2 has been slightly slowed down. What we have now decided with the local authority is to progress, as you can see from this slide, Grange Farm North. So this is effectively deciding to phase the delivery of this phase, whereby we sterilise the bottom of the site where the A141 potential route will go, and allow that to not come forward at the moment, so that work on the A141 can be progressed. And we focus on the northern area. So this is essentially delivering half of phase 2 and allowing the discussions on the south to progress before we look at the second half. So therefore the application for Grange Farm North is for up to 750 homes. That will also include a primary school and a community centre, as well as sports pitches, which will sit within the country park, and also a cafe coming forward as part of the country park facilities and amenities. We've worked very hard with Historic England around the Presley Wood area, which has a scheduled ancient monument, and also the sort of propeller-shaped spinneys that you can just see at the north of the southern area, which will all be protected and enhanced as part of the green infrastructure plans for phase 2. So essentially this is not a change to the plans that were put in, but it is a change in delivery, phasing from the north, and that will also enable us to push forward the conversations about the railway station coming forward, and enable us to put in infrastructure that will bring forward the Cambridge Autonomous Metro. So working closely with the combined authority to agree the route for that, and also for the additional bus services that will be enabled by having this connection to Huntingdon. One thing we're very conscious of is that we essentially have 2 areas of the site under development, with phase 2 coming forward. So whilst we don't have huge detail at the moment, I just wanted to explain some of the process that we're then starting to take forward in the background. So whilst phase 2 goes back into planning and starts to move forward into delivery, in the background we're doing an awful lot of research and groundwork for phase 3, and this is really the connecting factor. So phase 3 includes our town centre hub, and we're working hard at the moment with the local health partners to get the timing right and the facilities right for the health centre. Also with partners, Sport England and the District and County Council around the sports hub that will come forward probably just to the north of the secondary school, and also what the future of a town centre looks like. So this will be the main town centre, if you like, the main hub for the development, and as such will have shops and amenities and facilities, as well as the health centre, library and other civic uses. Clearly we want to make sure that's fit for future and able to withstand economic downturns and pandemics, and so we'll be working quite hard on that over the next few months to figure out what that needs to be. And Runway Park is clearly going to play a massive part in that, because we know more than ever now the value of green spaces and the draw that having places where you can spend some time and be out in the open is really important to everybody. So we're right at the start of researching and doing early design work on Key Phase 3. We'll have some huge amounts of engagement with you later this year, as well as more formal consultation before an application goes in. We would like to think that maybe by the end of the year or early 2022, we'll be putting an application in for Key Phase 3. So we will keep you posted. But I just wanted to make sure that you had that sense of how all of these bits start to connect, and where we are so far on the delivery programme. I know that this is not the best format by which we can have questions and answer sessions, and we've covered a huge amount of ground in the slides we've just shared. So if at any time you want to pick up the phone, or we can do Zoom or Teams chat, I'm more than happy to go through any questions that you have about the future of the development, or how also we continue to engage residents to make sure that we get those plans just right and create the place that we can all be really proud of.
Thanks, Rebecca. I know we mentioned quite a few planning applications coming forward there, and we have a newsletter coming out in the next week or so, which will provide additional details and maps, and also the details for the planning portal in case you want to find out more or submit comments to the District Council as part of the consultation process. A full hard copy of all planning applications are kept in the club, as well as being on the planning portal if anyone would like to look at the documents in more detail. And now here's Haresh.
Hello, my name is Harish Kainth and I'm the Neighbourhood Watch coordinator for the Alconbury Weald site. As a coordinator, I'm here to help you and others that have issues and concerns related to the neighbourhood. And if you're interested to join, please visit the ourwatch.org.uk website for further information. Thank you very much.
Now we'll be hearing an update from Polly Williams at Smarter Journeys. Thanks, Polly.
So we launched the Alconbury Weald Cycle Hub at the end of last year, where we offer out free bike servicing and repairs to residents. We're on site every third Sunday of the month now, and we'll next be on site on Sunday the 21st of February. We've still got some slots available on that day, so I'll provide you some details towards the end of these slides on booking information. So our mechanic is currently located inside the watchtower, but when weather improves, then we'll have our pop-up stand back, which will be just located outside. So the bike servicing and repairs have been really successful. We've had over 60 bikes in our hub now, which has been really, really positive. And we've also had some great feedback from residents, with 56% of them saying that since having their bike repaired or serviced, and they're now cycling further and more often. So within our hub, we've also launched a 30-day bike hire scheme, which is a try before you buy scheme, where we've got a number of bikes that we loan out to residents on a trial period. So we're loaning out electric bikes, which are great for travelling those extra miles, but also providing the health benefits of travelling on two wheels with that little extra assistance. We're loaning out cargo bikes, which are great fun for transporting children around. They've been really, really popular on site, but also great for carrying large packages, food, cargo and more. and tandem bikes for those who have children maybe a little bit too big for the cargo bike, so aimed at an adult and a child aged 4 and plus. And finally, we have the Brompton folding bike, which is great for commuting, especially those with multimodal journeys and needing solutions sort of the first and last miles. Ideal to take on public transport and then store under the desk in the office. We're also running a mileage competition within our 30-day bike hire scheme for anybody a little bit competitive. We're running 2 categories, one for those who hire out our electric bikes and one for those hiring out the tandem, cargo or the Brompton folding bike. So at the top of our leaderboard for the electric bike hire is Kit, one of our residents on site. And we have Santa on our other leaderboard, covering amazing 55 miles on our cargo bike. I think we're also going to run a separate category for anyone photographed in fancy dress whilst out on the hire bike. On that note, I just want to say a massive thank you to Santa for doing an amazing job riding around Alconbury Weald on the cargo bike, bringing lots of smiles and festive cheer over the Christmas week. So our bike marking and security event was cancelled in January due to COVID restrictions. We've rescheduled that to Sunday the 28th of February. Hopefully we can go ahead on that date, but again, that'll be subject to the latest rules. So bikes are one of the most commonly stolen items, so bike marking is a great way to deter opportunists, but also helps police reunite victims of their stolen property if later recovered. So we'll be on site marking bikes and giving out advice on security. And we'll also be offering residents the chance to buy a gold standard D-shaped cycle lock, which is recommended by the police. And we'll be asking for contributions towards them. And we'll be donating that money towards the Alconbury Weald Neighbourhood Watch group. We'll be also relaunching our one-to-one cycle training sessions again once lockdown restrictions are lifted. So these are aimed at anybody who might be new to cycling, wants to build their confidence, or maybe those who are a little bit more advanced but want some support in route planning their journeys. We also offer sessions on cycling with children safely and where best to position yourself when cycling in a group. And these sessions are sort of fairly flexible and we can tailor them to meet individual needs. So to enhance our bike servicing and repair sessions, we'll also be setting up some training workshops for residents to learn to service their own bikes. So this will help them to check a bike before they go on a ride, repair punctures much more confidently. And then if the demand is there, we'll also be running some more advanced sessions for those who might be a bit more mechanically able, covering areas such as setting up gears, replacing cables, realigning brakes, and servicing headsets. I feel like I've covered quite a lot tonight, but if anyone's interested in any of our Cycle Hub initiatives, so if that's the bike servicing and repair, the 30-day bike hire, the bike marking and security event, the one-to-one cycle training, or the bike maintenance workshops, then please do email us at alconburyweald@smartjourneys.co.uk and we will get you booked in. Thank you.
Just a community update. The pavilion, I get the keys for it next month, so that's really exciting. We're not taking bookings at the moment, but you can register an interest if you would like anything to happen in there, or if you have any ideas of groups that you would like to happen in there, please send me an email and we can take it from there. We have a road update. The part of Sendlers Road between the Boulevard and Carneal Road is having some construction work done on it for access for the Hopkins parcel. That will be going on for the next 3 weeks. It's going to change every day, so please be extra careful in that area. You can get through there and the pathway on one side will be open at all times, but please have extra care down there. So we've had quite a lot of questions. The first one was regarding an update on the primary school capacity and when the second primary will open. Ermine Street Church Academy has a capacity for about 450 children, and we're only currently about 150 in the current intake, so there's plenty of capacity at the moment. The school has already had a further section of the building designed and consented, which will expand the school to take a 3 form. This can be built out alongside the school's growth to be there when it's needed. The County Council's place planning team work closely with Ermine Street Academy, DMAT and Urban and Civic to monitor the numbers of children and ensure that the timing works appropriately. The locations and timings of all the schools to be delivered are part of an ongoing monitoring system in place with the County Council, which ensures a timetable by which they will be delivered and that this is in line with when they're needed. A location for the next primary school to support Key Phase 1 has been agreed, and the primary school is also within Phase 2 plans for Grange Farm, which will be submitted later this year. So I've had a question about the parts from Hallows Drive and where it's been fenced off for quite some time. Now the issue is a levels issue, and it's been a complicated one to resolve, but we do think we've now got a solution. We're aware this work needs to be completed, and we'll do this. We need to be able to set a resin bound surface, which can only be carried out when it's consistently plus 9 degrees. There are a range of works along the areas where Morris and Hopkins homes meet, and we've scheduled time to carry out these works together, and this will be completed hopefully by the end of April. So we've had a question about the tarmacking of Senleys Road. This area is requiring remedial works from Red Road before Urban and Civic can top it off, and we've been working with them to bring this forward. We expect this work to be completed in the next few weeks, enabling us to complete the works again by the end of April. We've had quite a few questions about the plot of land between the new Hopkins section and Civic Living. We're very conscious that the area between the parcels is unsightly, and we've been working hard to move this forward. We have a planning application that will cover the move of the shop to the glade in the development, and we will be consulting on that in later this month. We've also been in lengthy discussions with Cambury, Buchanan George, who have developed their detailed proposals for this parcel, and we're hoping they'll be submitted imminently. With both applications during March, we would hope that the work can progress to take these forward over the summer. So we've had a question about opening up a walkway to Clay Lane, so that would give you access through to Abbots Ripton. As the crow flies, it's about a mile's walk. So we've been working up plans which would enable a route to connect along the edge of Alconbury Weald to Grange Farm and across the railway bridge along the public rights of way to get across Abbots Ripton. This is part of a route which will eventually connect up to the Great Fen. We're not able to connect via Clay Lane in the near future due to the clashes with construction and heavy goods traffic which follows the western perimeter of Alconbury Weald. The Grange Farm route will connect up with a number of local rights of way, and we will update on maps timings as soon as we can. We know that you would all appreciate a longer walk. We've also had a question about promotion of the food vans that come up towards the end of the weekend and the weekend. So at the moment, those details are on Facebook. I only actually receive those normally on the Monday before they actually appear. It's not something that I have a lot of notice for. So at the moment, having them on the Facebook page is sort of the easiest way for it to be accurate. In general, we have food vans Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they change every week. Ongoing, we'll have a look at ways to make the information flow a bit better. If anyone has any suggestions, that would be very helpful. And it hopefully will be something that the community association can get feedback on. Thank you very much for coming, and as ever, any questions, please just email me.